This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, today is our first class. In the first class, we are going to learning about that D365 FNO architecture. I will increase that some font size. Okay, this is that architecture. But any software having that some architecture is there. So why this importance this architecture is that in any problems will come, or else first of all how to learn this one also, what are the components, what are the layers, what are the tires is available, we should know. Based on that we can learn those things and we'll fix those errors, or else we can implement that our product as well. Okay, yeah, our Dynamics 365 in that three-tier architecture, but this is that, but everyone knows about that three-tier architecture, but this is not a new name. If you go with that any development technology also, they can call it as a their software also, their product also, it's a three-tier architecture. But here what will be available for three-tier architecture? Okay, one thing is that end user. End user means we are interacting our software, okay, our product, we are interacting. Means what are the instruction the client, the end user is providing, what it is happening in the back end, and what's the DB query is running, and everything the operations is running from that end user. And the second tier is that AOS. AOS, the full form is that application object server. Okay, the second tier is that application object server. What it will do, this application object server, what are that menu items is available from the end user screen. Okay, when you click on the back end, what are the business logic, our X++ code, what they're written, everything is working into that our AOS. Okay. And in the end user, where we can see any web browser, most of the time we can see in that Edge or Chrome web browsers. The end user screen we can able to see into that web browser. I can show to you. This is this is the URL we are going to be accessing this one. When you press this one, and automatically we can able to see our home. Just I'm going to the home tab. You can just click on the home. Okay, this is about our Dynamics 365 front end, or some people is calling about the front end, end user, or else client. So many names based on that their experience they can call this one. And these are that workspaces, and these are that modules is available. Okay, I have installed this one into that on premises, it's not connecting to the cloud version. Okay, this is a on premises version only. Then the second is that AOS, application object server, where it is available, this application object server in that earlier of product, this one is available into that services. Okay, services.msc, you can open services.msc from your run command. Here you can see Microsoft Dynamics application object server, but now onwards, means he said when the D365 is came to the picture, that time onwards it was not available here, because Microsoft is moved this into the IaaS. Okay, this is moved into the IaaS. IaaS full form is that Internet Information Services. Okay, it is moved into the IaaS, Internet Information Services. Anyone knows about the IaaS, how to open this one prior to this one? Okay, I can show to you where it is available. We can open again. If you run command, here you can type inet mgr. the command called inetmgr. Inetmgr means internet manager. Okay, the command is inetmgr, internet manager. Okay, here we can host that our websites, all those things, but here no chance to host our site because of Microsoft is already hosted that our Dynamics 365 site. So we are going to use that thing. Then you can just expand this one here, sites, our AOS service is available here. Okay, application object service. And if we come and see here right side, manage website, restart or stop, and start is already grayed out, means it's a started. When you stop this one and your website, means your product Dynamics end user, it won't work. See, the service is unavailable because it's not running, the service is not running. Okay, but how to start this one? You can go to directly Internet Information Manager and just click on the start. Just click on the start. Then you can refresh again the browser. Sorry, guys. It will take 1 or 2 minutes of time just now because we have stopped and started for the AOS, right? So it will gather that all the services, required services, and refresh also is going. That is the purpose is taking the time. Okay, now we understand where it is available, the AOS. Got it up to here? Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you. We'll see. Yeah, it will take, yeah, now it's going to be opening. Yeah, it's open. But there is another way also we can start this service. How we can start? You can go to that command prompt. Okay, command prompt, right click and run as administrator. Here you need to provide the command. Anyone knows the command before? Eddie, you know command? What's the command we need to press?
IS reset.
Sorry?
IS reset.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. That is IAS reset.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to press this one. IAS means Internet Information Services reset. Suppose if you don't have that permission to that inet mgr, then you can open this command, and if from here also we can able to restart internet information successfully stopped and restarted. Suppose if you have the Visual Studio Access also, in the Dynamics 365 tab under Dynamics 365, reset IIS one option is there. Okay, there also these three ways we can able to restart our services. Okay, once this is fine, then what is the third layer? Okay, I can show to you. Just I will open any one of the menu item. You can call it as the all these a menu item. I can just simply open the accounts payable module. Yeah, I'm waiting for that menu item. This menu should come here. Okay, 1 second. Oh, just now I have reset from that browser command prompt, right? That's why it is again it needs to be restart. Okay, the third layer. Okay, meanwhile we can go with the third layer. Third layer is that database. Here we are using that our database MS SQL Server. Okay, Microsoft SQL Server here we are using. I can simply draw the one diagram. it would be very useful. Good draft. I can take this one. Suppose if it is a end user, this one, and this is your AOS, and this is your database. Okay. And what are the instruction you have passed from the front end? This is the client, this is the AOS, and this one is that database. Okay, it's three are the mutually connected. Means what are the instruction you have passed from that client to AOS? AOS it's run that your express logic, and what is this object type? Is it a class or form or SSRS report, whatever it may be, it will identify it. And what are the logic, what are the X++ query? Okay, it's generated, and the same query it is executed in the DB and fetch the result, and it is filled to that form or report, whatever it may be, behind into that menu item. Then again it can show into that client. Okay, this thing is a simple architecture, three-tier architecture. You can see, yeah, ours is a refresh done, then accounts payable. Now I got that. Just these are the menu items. I'm talking about that menu items, right? These are the menu items, and the types also is available. We can learn about the menu items in the further classes. When I click on that all vendors, see here I'm getting a please wait, we are processing your request. This time what happening, it is interacting with that your AOS, and what is the form is behind, and what is that logic is available, and it is executed in database, and it is fetching the result. These are the vendors is available. Okay, yes, okay, these are the vendors is available, this one. Fine. In the DB, okay, it is going to be connecting to the DB, but how it is interlinked, the your client, AOS and database, how it is the interlinked? See, I can show to you. Just open your SQL server as a run as administrator mode, and our main database is that AHDB. Okay, please remember guys, AHDB. Okay, HDB is our main database. Here it's in the HDB only all the data and everything is available in HDB. But how these are the already interlinked? You can go to that one of the module called system administration. Guys, please listen. These are the very basic things, system administration. And here you can go to with that inquiries. Suppose if it is a collapse, then you can just click on the expand all. Then you can see this mode here, inquiries and database. There is a menu item called database information. Just click on this database information, then you can able to see that logon database AHDB. Then you can check here. See here the databases is the AHDB. The database should be available into SQL Server, but this is not on our headache. And once we got that VM, all the setups is already set from the Microsoft itself. Okay, don't worry, just I'm going to show about these things. And log on server, which server we are connected. See the server, it's end with that 5REKG, this number, and we can check what is our server. See our server also, just you can click on the connect. See the same server they have tagged here. Okay, the server is available here. Now we understand how these are that interlinked, how these three layers is connected. And
Yep.
yeah, why we are connected with that only HDB, why we aren't connected with that HDW, and what are that remaining databases, storage stimulator, report server tempdb, and this is a reference databases, management reporter, and we'll see into that tomorrow's class. But today we are going to be see about that front end. We can understand that what is this front end, what are the workspaces, and some legal entities available, company wise specific, what is the ERP. Today we'll see. This is about that simple architecture. we have a three-tier architecture, and development architecture is different. We can see the development architecture in that different class. Yeah. Anyway, we should know about that how to start this service. Suppose if you forget this link, okay, means this URL, where we can find this URL, you can open your inet mgr. Okay, here browse the website is there. When you click on this one, automatically it is asking for that which service needs to be open, means which browser needs to be open, then it is going to be opening. Okay, then you can add into your favorites. Okay, yes. Now once if it is open, I can able to see the company called Contaso Retail USA, and there is a search page is there, and finance and operation. When you click on this one, okay, here when you click on this one, it will go to that office.com, but that is not required. And come here, you can see the legal entities. Legal entity is nothing but companies. Currently I'm in the USRT legal entity. Suppose when I click on this one, I can able to see that combo bots. Combo bots means it's a, some people is calling drop down or combo bots, and these are the companies is available. All these are the called as a Contaso data. In real time you can't able to see this data. In real time what you can see, your client data. Okay, this Contaso data is provided by Microsoft because of we can do some operations. Okay, in real time the client data is there, and legal entities also, the name also is changed based on the client requirement. We can provide the name, and we can able to see that there is a notification or bell icon. Something is happening. Suppose any bad job is completed, or else any program is failing, or any success messages, database refreshment, those alerts we can able to see in this bell icon. And there is a gear icon is there. Okay, in this when you press on this gear icon, normally we can, everyone knows about this gear icon. In your mobile phones also there is settings is there. The settings icon is a gear icon, you can call it. I can able to see a few of the options: user options, task recorder, mobile app, personalize. Okay, now I am going with that user options. User options means currently who logged. See, this is the user is login. Okay, this user options. Okay, when you go click on this one, user options, then it is navigating to that user options window. Here I can able to change these colors. Okay, suppose if it is showing, but I don't want it this color, just click on this one. Okay, it is going to be changed. Okay, this is the default thing. Just if you can able to change. Okay, anyone tell me why the Microsoft is given these colors? Is that just look and feel purpose?
So I think when we are setting sandbox or development environment, or we can differentiate as well.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. Why they are giving means, suppose if you are working your DevBots. Okay, DevBots means developer environment, where we are writing the code or it's plus and everything, where we are writing this thing. But you are moving this code into that QA. Okay, UAT, asset. Sometimes it's a pre-prod also is there, otherwise production. Okay, this is the steps is available to testing phases and code movement activities. Our functionals will test and client side functional will test. These are the environments is there. So to analyzing, or we can easily understanding, suppose if you are going to modify, suppose if is a normally the green is providing to that production environment. Suppose here if you want to edit any data, we can see that green color. Oh, this is a production environment, I can't touch this data. Like this, just we can identification purpose which environment we are. Why this thing is means, suppose if you are getting the errors, that time what happened, your client is asking for the check with that other environment. Okay, that's why we can parallelly work with that different environments. So this color identification is very useful for us to estimate that which environment we are. So what rights we have in that environment. That is the purpose. The color identification is available. Okay, fine. Then you can go to the preferences. Yeah, the size is there, just is a zoom and zoom, like this is a way, like. And you can go to the preferences, see setup default preference. When you open this URL, which company or which legal entity needs to be opened, that is the thing. The whole setup we can set up here. The default company is that USRT, and initial page we have some pages is available. That is that default dashboard, system administration, and feature management. Which page needs to be open by default, that thing we can able to set up here. Default dashboard and set up here. And what is the default view mode? Is it a view mode or edit mode? Which mode needs to be open? Okay, we can able to set up all the setups. And languages. Okay, our ERP will support with that multi-language. Okay, multi-language. Currently it's a English US. Suppose if you want to change this English US into that some Arabic. Okay, I'm going to change this Arabic. Now when I refresh this one, now see my entire D365 environment is changed into that Arabic language. Why Microsoft is provided these multiple languages? Because of the customer having that business into that globally. Okay, some people is they're interested to use their local language. This type of purpose. Okay, it will support into that so many languages. Okay, Arabic. I'm going to back to that English US. Just you can change like this. So many languages is there, but sometimes what happen, we are going to be create that our own menu items. Okay, our menu items, those things also will convert into that Arabic language or else Chinese language or any other language. No, it will not convert. We need to create the labels. Okay, we need to create the label files, then only it is going to be converted into the other language. By standard, Microsoft is already converted that created the labels. Once we have changed the language, automatically those labels will be populated here. I will show to you how to create the labels and everything. Once we have created into that forms, tables, those things, it will come. And like this we can change into that our language preferences and which date time format and time zone. But these are the some default settings in the on-premises version, but I don't want to change these things because our lab practice it may take some interrupt. And document handling means your vendor or purchase order, those things needs to be store any documents. You can enable this option. The front end functionals can handle these things, just to have the idea. And you can go with that account and which account we are logging. Okay, and currently I'm login as an admin. This is my email ID. Okay, here I can able to see. Okay, those are your account information is available here. And workflow and related settings is available here. This is about that user options. And task recorder is there. Most of the time task recorder means while working in that functions or service updates or any bugs you have fixed, you need to provide that your result. That time you can just enable the your task recorder, and our Dynamics 365 it will automatically trigger the screenshots and with that matter as well. Then automatically description as well. Then we can easily send those documents to that our functionals so they can validate it. And one more thing is here, it's a very important one, usage data. Usage data is there. What is this usage data? When you click on reset usage data, it is asking for that user, all users. Like this is just like a refresh thing. Sometimes if you're working with that forms or SSRS reports, your code and your data is working very fine, but you are not getting that updated result. That time what you have to do generally in that system, just we can right click and refresh, right click and refresh. These are the action we are going to do. But how to refresh the data here means it's a screen cache level. Okay, cache level here, just click on the user, all users. But I'm stretching and I'm telling, don't clear that all users data. Okay, are you sure you want to continue? Just I'm clicking okay. But dev environments it's okay, but other environments like production or SAT or UAT, that time don't delete that all users data, because of your client side people, they may did the some setups. So when you click on the reset users data, their cache memory will going to be clear. Again they need to set up it. Okay, understand guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, this is about that front end, and you can coming to that workspaces.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. Yeah. This is Satish. Here I have one question.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. You said something. Suppose when I click all users, it is setting all the rollback. Means it is resetting the all the settings. Correct?
Not settings, the cache memory. Simply I can tell you about that. Suppose if you are filling any document in that your Chrome browser, sometimes what happen, it is when you automatically it's showing the suggestions. When you click on that thing, and remaining fields also automatically will fill, right? Have you observed this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Suppose
Yes.
if you, yeah, suppose if you click on the all users data clear, then those cache memory will gone from the Dynamics 365 side. Okay,
Okay.
this
So,
is the
but
thing.
you need to say suppose if I yeah. Suppose if both two users is there, one user, the label purpose is changing. See, suppose the in the tab the labels is move and up. Some another user, same form, same page, the labels is move and up. So those changes it is refreshed or
Yeah, those changes. But if you go with that all users, I can show to you.
yeah.
When you click on this one, reset usage data user, but this is happening with that who logged in this one. But if the other side
No.
person also facing the same issue, you can log in into that their credential, then you can refresh it.
Okay.
Individually we can do it.
Individually.
Yeah,
Okay.
clear.
So yeah, one more question. You said something QA UAT SAT, but till now I have seen only QA UAT SAT. What is the meaning of SAT, the database?
System acceptance testing, because this is the environments from the client end. Suppose if it is a dev is that development, a QA is
Yeah.
quality. Yeah, SAT is just a system acceptance test. Sometimes some clients having the SAT, some clients doesn't have the SAT because of their financials. They can extend these things. Some people, some clients also adding that a SAT1 environment, SAT2 environment, UAT1 environment. Based on that testing phases, they suppose if their client is having that good amount of financial, then they can purchase the more
Yeah.
amount. Okay, more
Okay.
environment. Otherwise they can directly go the dev, QA and production. At least UAT also
Yeah.
should be there. Yeah.
Yeah. System acceptance test.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
UAT
Thank
means
you. Thank
user
you.
acceptance test. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, now we are going to see about that workspaces. These are the workspaces newly introduced into the in D365, and these are the modules we can able to interact with these other modules. But entirely it's a functional part. But I will show it in that this course curriculum how we are going to be create that module. But Some people is calling it the module vertical. I can tell that exact difference of the vertical and module difference in the further sessions, because if you go with that interviews, they can ask about that any vertical experience is there. They can ask vertical means it's a product. Using this product, we are going to be implementing other product that is called vertical. Okay. And what we have opened from that recent things, we can able to see that recent things. And suppose if you are open, you are working with that one form or some combination of the forms is daily regular basis, that time you can just click on this star mark, just fill it, and it is added to your favorites window. Okay, this thing is a very small things. Okay, in the next class we are going to be see about that what are the remaining databases. Okay, what is the use of these databases, when we are going to be use these things, then we can start into that creating the table and coding part, and development architecture and application. We need to application stack architecture is there. We can go with that application stack as well. Once these things is completed, then we can jump into that coding part. Okay, this is for the today's class. If you have any questions, you can ask me.